At the center of every long-running franchise, there is a theme or idea that holds it all together. In Star Wars, it's about rebellion and faith. In Lord of the Rings, it's the importance of home. In Toy Story, it's growing up. And in The Fast and the Furious, it's... well, take it away then.
I don't have friends. I got family.
At the center of the 007 series is James Bond himself, who is a wish-fulfillment male power fantasy. You know, men want to be him, women want to be with him, sort of thing. For this to be a theme, the core idea that the entire franchise branches off of, the individual films have to develop and challenge these ideas, which is why Casino Royale is the best installment.
Vodka martini. Shaken or stirred?
Do I look like I give a damn?
Now, Casino Royale is not the first film in the series to challenge Bond's place in the modern world. Hell, it's not even the first deconstructive Bond film directed by Martin Campbell.
Because I think you're a sexist, misogynist dinosaur. A relic of the Cold War.
What Casino Royale does, what distinguishes it from all its peers, is that it presents a complete breakdown of the Bond character. A lot of that comes from the book it's adapting, which is the first of Ian Fleming's novels and the one that lays out the foundation for the character.
Job's done. The bitch is dead.
This adaptation takes it a step further by embedding the narrative with Bond's origin story. The first 20 minutes cover everything from Bond receiving his 00 status to his first mission. So much of who this Bond is established through these first 20 minutes, but not through dialogue or exposition. No, this Bond is established by the thing this franchise does best. Now, this 7-minute parkour chase is one for the ages, with its phenomenal stunts and incredible sense of speed. But what really makes it special is how it characterizes our protagonist. By the time the chase is concluded, we know 3 things about Bond. He's resourceful, he's reckless, and he's a force of nature. This Bond isn't Bond quite yet. He has no Aston Martin or fancy gadgets, and like the equally successful reboot Batman Begins, he doesn't wear his famous outfit till well over an hour into the film. With all of these elements missing, the film can focus on one defining element of the series. If James Bond is a male power fantasy, then Craig's Bond is the epitome of that power. I mean, the man is just oozing with testosterone. This is prevalent throughout the entire film, and not just the action sequences, with characters often commenting on his physique.
I will be keeping my eye on our government's money and offer you perfectly formed house.
The film itself partakes in this, with James getting the classic rising from the ocean shot reserved for the Bond girls. Even look at the opening scene, which shows Bond asserting his dominance by brutally killing another man in the men's washroom. The film highlights his masculinity only so that it can tear it down. For example, because of Bond's newfound aggression, he's nowhere near as smooth as he used to be. Take the opening chase scene, where Bond gets away not through his cleverness, but through his persistence and sheer luck. While he gets the job done, he does so by compromising the mission, creating a giant mess for someone else to clean up. This becomes a common element throughout the film, with Bond's recklessness getting him in over his head, only to get by because someone else was watching his back.
Funny game, right? Sorry, I should have introduced myself, seeing as we're related. Felix Leiter, a brother from Langley.
The film doesn't just let this go, with M and Vesper constantly criticizing Bond and what he stands for, oftentimes acting as the voice of reason for the film.
You lost because of your ego, and that same ego can't take it.
These characters challenge Bond, forcing him to grow as a character, and in the process become the most important people in Bond's life. Oh, and they're also incredibly strong, independent female characters. Just saying. The action sequences also challenge Bond's masculinity, with Bond repeatedly getting bruised, slashed, and hurt by the film's many set pieces. On top of that, the many goons that Bond faces don't just fall over dead with one shot or bonk to the head. They're hard to kill, and die in pretty brutal ways that leave lasting effects on our protagonist.
Made you feel it, did he?
The film highlights these lasting effects by showing the aftermath of the fight scenes. This Bond can get hurt, so the many bruises and cuts he receives stay with him from scene to scene. These fistfights, chases, and shootouts leave a toll on James, and the film takes the time to show how he recovers. These changes to the Bond formula are why I think Daniel Craig was the perfect casting choice. However, it's not because of his improved physique or against-type look. The key to this Bond is the eyes. As any editor or filmmaker will tell you, eyes are the key to the soul. It's the first thing we look at when we meet a new character, and it's every actor's greatest tool for expression. Casino Royale obsesses over its characters' eyes, especially during the film's many poker scenes. During these scenes, the audience partakes with Bond in trying to read his opponent's eyes, seeing if they're bluffing or holding the best hand at the table. Oh, and the villain? His tell is that he literally weeps blood. Just as James obsesses over his opponent's eyes at the poker table, the film obsesses over Bond's own eyes. His eyes are blue, strikingly blue, and they contrast well with his often bloodied face. It's in these eyes where we can find his true character.
Look in my eyes. I can beat this man, you know that.
While his physical exterior shows that he's an unstoppable force that you can't hurt, his eyes show that he's vulnerable. It's during his moments of pain and loss where the film fixates on his eyes, and all that leads to the film's most infamous scene. Now by this point in the film, Bond's luck has worn out. His precious car has been destroyed, his remote tracking device removed from his arm, and he's stripped of the suit that defines him. With Bond captured, Le Chiffre doesn't use any fancy gadgets or sharks with laser beams attached to their heads. Instead, he threatens his masculinity. During this scene, the camera remains fixed on Bond as his emotions swing from fear to rage to resentment. We stay with him, experiencing the pain that he does. And just when we think he can resist no longer, Bond says this.
I've got a little itch. Down there. Would you mind?
Now, not only is this crucial for undercutting the tension, but it shows how Bond uses his wit to level the playing field. The dynamic here shifts to that of the poker table, with both players reasoning and bluffing with the other player, getting them to fold.
But you are so wrong!
Bond refuses to give up. He tries everything he can, but he knows Le Chiffre has the better hand, and when it's Bond's turn to reveal his cards, all they can do is smile. He'd rather die than fold. Lucky for him, someone else was watching his back. I think scenes like this are important for a character like Bond, not because it's dark or gritty, but because it's a test of his character. It's what happens to Bond when you take away his toys. The torture scene is analogous for the entire film. It's the most brutal breakdown in a film of brutal breakdowns. The film rips out Bond's heart, his soul, and his balls, and asks what's left. Is he still James Bond? Is he still a man? The film's answer? He's the best Bond yet. Hey guys, I just want to let you all know that Films and Stuff is now on Patreon. It's pretty cool. I'm still kind of figuring it out, so if you have any ideas for like rewards and that, comment below. I want to hear what you guys want. Besides that, there's these other videos you can check out right here, and I'll see you next time.